Welcome back, everybody, to the Flow State Podcast. This podcast today is about chasing a dream, building something out of nothing, and proving to yourself that you can do it in your own way. So my guest today is someone who embodied that risk, and it's the risk of being himself in a very saturated market, to be honest. Right? He's an immigrant, a dreamer. Kevin Liu is the founder of a Toronto streetwear brand called Officially Certified. In less than 2 years, Kevin has created a movement that's about way more than just clothes. And his story is very personal, it's raw, and it's proof that you can turn pain into purpose. So without further ado, we're going to roll the intro and we'll get into this conversation with Kevin. Kevin, my guy.
Yo, what's going on, bro? I
man.
appreciate you
Good
for
to-
having me.
Good to see you, brother.
Excited for a podcast?
Yeah, man. I'm
Yeah.
super excited to
100%.
kind of break this down. And this is actually going to be something interesting. It's something that we haven't really done before, but it's actually going to be a 3-parter. We're
Mhm.
going to just keep talking, but they're not going to be able to see all of it right away.
Can't wait, bro. Can't wait.
Keep them on a little bit of a cliffhanger, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're going to get started right away. And the first part that I really want to talk about with you is your story.
Yeah.
The story from beginning to end, kind of where you're at now, you know, and kind of walk me through basically before the breakthrough of OC, right? Obviously, we know you were born in Canada, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to talk to you mainly about your story first. So go ahead and just break down your story for me, where you're from, you know, all that sort of stuff. Break that down for me.
Bro, that's a very good question, bro, because a lot of people be asking me, Kevin, where are you from? I cannot have an answer, straight answer on the top of my head.
Yeah.
Because at least 4 or 5 studies going to pop up. You know what I mean? I was born in Montreal. My dad used to go to McGill. And he met my mom at the university. And I was born in Montreal. And after 6 months, I stepped to China with a Canadian passport. That's basically what happened. And grew up in China for 15 years. Different parts of the region as well. My mom's from the northern China. My dad is from Middle Western China. Lots of Uyghur people, lots of Muslim people as well. And I grew up next to Shanghai.
Okay.
After that, just moved to Toronto for 5 years, and here I'm at, bro.
So when you moved to Toronto, you were talking about this a little bit. You
Yeah.
moved to Toronto. Did you think you were going to move to Toronto, or what happened?
That's actually super interesting. So, so I was talking to my mom. Yo, let's go to Canada for vacation for 2 weeks. That was right before COVID. And we booked a ticket, went to Pearson, landing in Pearson, hop on the 401, got an Airbnb at Island Road. And after that, next thing you know, COVID broke out in China. And so basically we're stuck in Canada. We cannot go back. And my mom's like, why not just quit your school at China and just go to your local Canadian high school? And that's what happened.
So you went to high school here. You finished your high school here
Yeah.
before you went to university here.
Yeah.
And you're currently studying?
Currently studying.
Where you at in university right now?
Okay, University.
Okay, University.
Design.
Industrial. Okay, so then my question right away is, when you think about your early years, right, all those 15 years in China, was there a moment that you felt different than maybe the other kids that you were around, kind of a little bit? Obviously, you know, you ethnically you're the same, but obviously you were born in Canada, right? Was there a moment that you felt different, like you almost like you saw things that other people didn't see?
You know, I changed my posture because the topic is so interesting and it's very exciting, you know what I mean? I'm trying to get ready. All right. So I'd be telling a lot of people a lot of a story. Let's say it's kind of controversial, but for me personally, if I have a kid in the future, I would not let him or her live in Canada for a whole life. I want them to travel more around the world to have a better perspective of different cultures and how can you code switch in a sense or adapt to different environments very quickly.
Okay.
And that's my kind of situation. Bro, it's so crazy. Around 5 years ago, I barely spoke any English. So my recipe for learning English is watching YouTube videos first. DDG, Frost, Five Reacts. After that, just like Kai Sinat, Aiden Ross, other Twitcher as well.
No way.
And that's how I learn English well. And after that, it definitely gave me a better perspective. I don't know, of the two worlds, I guess, like 2 different languages, how people behave.
You mentioned code switching.
Yeah.
Giving your kids kind of understanding of different cultures. And I think I want to start with that and kind of break that down a little bit, because the thing that I found really interesting about OC is that you guys, it's like it's extremely creative, right? And we've noticed that we've done a lot of research into the. Obviously, he's been telling me about it for a long time, and we know that you know, like it's you see things differently,
Absolutely.
right? And I wanted to ask you from my personal perspective. Obviously, I went to OCAD as well, and I wanted to see from your perspective. Did you always see things in that way? Did it kind of shift over time? How did you
Mhm.
build that creative? Like you got a creative vision, but you're very good at making sure it comes to life. Not everybody has that.
I was
Explain to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I would say one of my biggest inspiration or quotes, one of my top five is from the last season of the Top Boy. Where Duchesne spoke to I forgot what's the other character called. You're either to be eat or to be eaten. Because as some mentality, if you think about it from another angle, we are humans, but humans are animals at the top of the end of the day, and we still at the top of the food chain. So in some way, the animal like instincts still kind of behave in the I mean,
Yeah.
so that's one of the reason, and just kind of pressure, bro. Lots of pressure, economical pressure. That's why I had to make money. I had to support myself, cause yeah, cause I didn't came from a regular family as well. So I just want to make my mom proud, and that's one of the reasons as well. So it's all about giving back to the parents, having stable life in the future, and just the mentality at the end of the day, because you cannot be lazy. Yeah, everybody have a comfort zone. You have to step out of it. The longer you stay in the comfort zone, the more lazy you're gonna become physically and mentally. The mindset is gonna be deteriorating at the end of the day. So that's my main source of energy of keeping pushing.
So explain to me a little bit now, given that information. Explain to me a little bit about OC, and we'll get into a little bit about how you started it, what caused that start, but also I want to hear a little bit about the time before OC. And mainly, was it your first idea? Did you struggle coming up with an idea? What did that look like before you came to the realization, like, officially certified is what I want to do? Was there
100%.
something before? What happened in that? Like, obviously, you started in OC in 2023,
Yeah.
right? So you were here for a couple years before then.
Mhm.
What were you doing? Were you focusing on building something besides that? You know what I mean?
All right. So I feel like one of the factor, which I just thought about it right now, might be a pandemic. I was bored out of my mind in the pandemic, and that kind of gave me the urge of I don't want to live in the same space doing the same shit every day. Like I want to try my hobbies, find a way to monetize out of it, and while I still have the motivation to do it. And that's one of the main sources as well. And yeah, I'm just the kind of person not sitting on the couch watching TV all day. Like you have to have an ambition, have a drive, either for yourself in the future or for your parents. That's that's the beauty about human nature. You're gonna pass down to each generation and generation. You know what I mean? So that's one of the spirit. Yeah. So officially certified is so crazy. It's starting in the bedroom. Like all the photo shoot before all the photo shoots, all the organizations, photoshopping, video editing. It just came from a A4 paper, probably a pen from Muji, and they just some writing, scribbling, and that's it.
So what do those scribbles look like? Get like the reason I ask is
Yes.
because the whole point of this is I want people to get an understanding as an entrepreneur, as somebody that's not only made their way into this space. There's so many people that are struggling. They see that there's an idea maybe that they want to reach for, but they also want to look at something that's already done so well, and they want to kind of emulate that. And I think the trap that people fall into is that they emulate without understanding who they are, right? So you having that A4 paper and that Muji pen, like, what did that look like for you? Because for everybody, it's going to be different,
Mhm.
right? But what did that look like for you?
It's a good question though, because you know how you notice every time you do your hobbies or your favorite things, time just move very fast, bro. You don't pay attention to time. And that's one of the reason. If you don't like doing the thing, probably doing a part-time job, whatever, the time is gonna move very slow. So you'll gradually figure out what your interest, right? When you grow up in your teenager years, whatever. For me, that's music, that's fashion, just a lifestyle, and just on top of that, a way to giving back to my parents in the future as well. That's how I established that. And yeah, bro, just having to designing, that's part of the reason I go to UCAD as well. Also, mom, I cannot do math, no, you're a thief. And yeah, that's how I ended up here.
Word. Okay. So now we were talking a bit about your upbringing in China.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, were there any creative influences around you growing up? Who inspired you to want to create? Did you always want to do something like this and be a very creative, people call it artsy, be a very creative person? Or were you more, you said you weren't into math. Were you into math initially? You know, like kind of what drew you to that?
Are you asking me that question because I'm Asian? I'm just kidding.
That's not one of the options.
You guys yeah, with the job, eh?
So as a life in China, bro, I would say when I was living in China, I never stepped out of the comfort zone.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like before 2018, just kind of naive person, just do whatever I want to do, playing sports, swimming, basketball, and doing homework. It's just like life is easy back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
1 + 1 = 2, easy calculation. But no, after that, yeah, my dad passed away when I was 13. January 8th, 2018.
Sorry to hear that.
No, it's all good, bro. It's all good. That's part of life, to be honest. And that's one of the reasons that kept me pushing. And after that, yeah, bro, you just have a mental void that nothing else can fill. You see your mom crying every day. She's struggling to find a part-time job as well. She never worked before that thing happened. Like for 20 years because of me. Her last job is in the 90s, and she wanted to sacrifice. You know what I mean, her occupation for me, my raising me and shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, just a lot of struggles and mental struggles as well. And that really pushed me. And chasing my dream, monetizing out of it, it's kind of a few that can fill the void of my heart. And that's one of the reasons. Yeah.
Interesting. I think, yeah, like, you know, in that way, it's almost like it was a survival for you. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Yeah.
Like having that void within you because of all the events that happened or whatever the case. Like, and you can speak to this, and you can speak to this, Kareem, as well. Actually, I feel like as we've all gone to the same school, we're all creatives in that sense, right? And I think one of the biggest things for me is that oftentimes you tap into something that happens to you and you use that as fuel or motivation for whatever you're going forward with, right? So in that sense, you know, that's your story. I know, Kareem,
Yeah.
you definitely have
I can
stories.
definitely speak on that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a lot of the time, like some maybe tragedy happens in your life, whether
Yeah.
that be a loved one passing away, illness, all that. There's two routes you can take. Either you can, you know, use that as fuel, like Jabber was saying, or you can take that fuel and, you know, put it into passion in something or something along those lines.
Exactly.
You know?
Well, there's the option of either using it as fuel or succumbing to the pressure and not doing anything at all, right? And not making those moves. And
That's
yeah.
a very good topic, bro, because I was just talking with my aunt about how people like they will react when this kind of thing happen. Either two outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
You use a good side is the same. Use as fuel, motivation to chase your dreams, live a better life for the people who passed away, or you either just stuck in a deep depression over years and years, and it's like a vicious cycle. You just keep going down
Exactly.
lower.
Right.
Yeah, bro.
Sometimes you want to like break through the wall at times, you know,
100%.
some stuff happens and, you know, those shifts shape how you like see, you know, culture and expression and identity. And at the time, like we were talking about, obviously you want to use it as fuel, but did you ever find that those experiences made you feel disconnected from the things that you wanted to do? You know, do you ever find that they made you shift your focus a little bit over time?
100%, bro. So actually, one of the thing, after my dad passed away, the biggest motivation that gave me is listening to hip hop. Like actually, I can find a lot of references and that just feel like very relatable and just keep me pushing. And that's one of the biggest factors as well. So I'm heavy into music at the same time. So yeah, clothes and music, um, yeah, combined. That's what I wanted to do in the future.
So
Make
I wanted to say, like, is it like a mixture of all those things that kind of filled that void you were really talking about earlier?
100%, though.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
In this kind of situation, you need guidance, and nobody's gonna guide you. And it's hard to find a proper guidance that will give you a right direction in the future. But in this case, finger crossed, I'll find it, and that's what kept me pushing.
So that's a good point, because fingers crossed you'll find it, right? But for some people, and I know plenty of people like this actually, like when you're starting something new, when you're trying to break a barrier, when you're trying to do something against the grain, people will try stuff and it'll fail. They'll try stuff and it'll fail.
Absolutely.
You know, and like, was this your first attempt? Was OC your first attempt? Did you try something else? You know, and
Yes,
yeah,
this is my first attempt.
OC's your first attempt, so you got lucky. You got lucky.
Nah,
No,
I'm not trying to get lucky, bro. It's so about, I feel like I'm not to the point where I can sleep peacefully at night. There's definitely lots of room for improvements, lots of community get backs as well, lots of future plans. But yeah, I would say some of my effort be paying back in some content.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's good. I mean, you're humble as well in that sense, you know, because I think I see it from the outside in, obviously, from whatever Kareem has told me, and that shit looks successful. You know what I mean? Like for me, I see it and I'm like, this, honestly, man, for me, and this is off the script, I'm like, I see the brand and I'm like, shit, like this is what it means to be a creative from my perspective. Because obviously, going to that school, going to OCAD, you're surrounded by people. We were talking about it actually. When I was in high school, I would always draw. I was always, I'm sure you were the same way, always with your sketchbook, your black book, just drawing. Same with Kareem, right? And we realized that, like, you know, we might have been, you know, back in high school, some of the best when it comes to high school, and all the people that we knew, some of the best when it came to, you know, creating ideas and all that sort of stuff, until we get to OCAD.
Yo, people, what do you think this podcast is this, bro? You know what I mean, it's created by very creative peoples with strong dedications. That's the reason why we
Appreciate that, man.
You know what I mean?
But
I sorry to cut you off, Jabir. So a lot of the time, like even in high school, I'm sure you guys even like have seen like maybe like the analytical side of your brain is like not working as much, and more the creative side catered towards that. So for example, Kevin, you were speaking on math, for example. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of us, like, we're not really math people. We love the creative side.
Yeah.
So that right side of your brain is more creative, and the left side is more analytical.
Yeah,
I think we can
exactly,
agree.
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
Sure.
all very right brain.
Yeah.
For me, I'm smooth brain, but that's besides the point. I think that's a big thing, right? Like when you get to that point where we were in an environment full of creative people,
Yeah.
right? We went to OCAD and we're surrounded by people. I'll give you an example. Nader's some of his work, man.
Shout out to Nader, bro. He's
Shout out-
Montreal
I
right now, doing the gallery, whatever exhibition.
Man,
Shout out to him, bro.
that guy is insane.
Talent.
Like some of his work he shows me, I'm like, yo, right? Amani, I don't know if you know Amani.
I know Amani.
Yeah, Amani's work.
Money, give me some money.
Amani's work is second to none, man. Some of her, she taught me like a technique. This is a couple years ago. We had like a paint night.
Okay.
We had a paint night at OCAD, and she taught me like this one technique when it came to painting.
What
And
is it?
I'm stupid when it comes to painting. I've never been a on canvas type person. I've always been pen to paper,
Definitely.
pencil to paper,
Yeah.
right? That's all. I've always been a sketch guy.
Yeah.
But she she just basically just paint with water, and it like blends everything so much better on acrylic, right? Like for me, I use dollar store acrylic paint. Just dip it in the brush and just try to fill, right? And like because for drawing and sketching, everything's within the lines for the most part.
Very accurate.
Very accurate, right? So I have that mentality when it comes to painting, but then I look and like it looks like I'm a 6-year-old just painting by numbers. You know what I mean? But when I did it the way that she was telling me, like everything flows, everything has like that soft look. That's something that I didn't even know about until she taught me that, right? So you're surrounded by people around you constantly that challenge you. I don't know if you watched the first episode with my one of my friends, Ali Rasuli, but he was saying that
Yeah.
if you are the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room, right? If you're the most creative person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
That's a good topic, bro. Same shit can be applied to your markets, like whatever clothing brands,
Yeah,
even beats producers. Like without no competition, let's say American electric cars, right? There's only one of the main markets, Tesla. But if you go to China, there's so many electric EVs,
yeah,
and that's one of the reasons they're innovating so fast, because there's so many, like 20 brands competing with each other.
exactly, right?
So same shit can be applied to, yeah, bro.
Competition fuels growth,
Yeah,
ultimately,
your social
right,
group, your friends as well.
right,
Surround yourself with the successful peoples, and and when you feel uncomfortable or you feel a lot of pressure, in a good way, that's how you know you're stepping out of the comfort zone. That's how you know you're really gonna change yourself in a really fast pace. And yeah, bro, what's the point, bro?
yeah, man. I think that's a big thing to focus on, right? Like,
100%.
no matter what you decide to do, right? In your case with OC, in my case with I'm a barber by trade, right? In Kareem's case with advertising, you want to stick yourself with the people that are gonna really, really challenge you, right? And by putting yourself in an environment like OCAD, where you're surrounded by people that are constantly challenging you and constantly, you see the work and you want to, I'm a selfish dude. I want to make sure that I one up everybody. And when somebody shows me work, I want to make sure that the work that I show them is better than theirs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm competitive, right? And I feel like that growth is that it's like fuel,
Yeah.
right? It really fuels your own growth, and your creativity really can shine through that, right?
Absolutely.
So, you said OC was the first thing for you, and how, you found this thing that you were super passionate about, and you went off into it, and thank God it's been good so far, and hopefully continues to grow more and more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Talk about how creativity can kind of come from that struggle, though, that MacBook and that notebook, and that pencil, right? You didn't know your first, when you designed your tracksuit, let's say,
Yeah.
you didn't design it off rip 2023. You knew that it was there.
Yeah.
Obviously, you go through iterations. There's confusion there. You know what I mean? Not confusion in the sense of I don't know what I want to do, but confusion in there's so many options for me to move forward.
Yo, if you want to be an artist, there's no, let's say, instant got an idea that you want to go with it, like, for a long time. Like, you have to write down every illustrations you have, and be confident with your action at the same time, because you might get so many ideas, and that might procrastinate you. You'd be thinking, should I do this idea, should I do that idea? Just keep it going. Like, keep it going, live every day to the fullest, and keep trying all the options. That's one of the advice I have. Like, if don't be so confused when there's so many options out there, and you don't know which one to choose, and therefore you're procrastinating, and just having a lazy mentality at the end of the day, bro. But sorry to cut you off.
No,
Sorry.
absolutely, man. I think you want to make sure that you are iterating, right? We always are taught iterate. You want to make sure that there's multiple, every time that we come out with a product, whether it's this podcast, whether it's OC has a
Yeah.
drop, whether it's a haircut that I'm doing, you know what I mean? I always want to look back at it. And we've been doing this for the past couple of weeks now with this. We've been, what are the things that we
1%
can
better
adjust?
every time. So we
Yeah.
want to make it 1% better every day. You know what I'm saying?
Slow
1%
motion
better
better than no motion. Come on.
Exactly. That's a
Come on.
great saying. Slow motion better than, I'm gonna put that right up here, actually. But honestly, man, that's it, right? Like, you want to make sure that you're making those improvements. If it's slow, that's fine, but at least the intention is there,
Absolutely.
right? So I wanted to explore the things that built that mindset. I don't necessarily want to call them failures, because they're not, and
Yeah.
maybe you didn't have those, but those things that built the mindset that you have now for that growth, right? Maybe some money spent in the wrong way, maybe hanging around the wrong people, right?
100%.
How many times did you think that, like, this maybe isn't for me when you first started OC, let's say, right? Like, or even before then, even when you were coming up with the idea, because I don't want to talk about OC just yet. We'll get into it.
Absolutely.
But even before you got into that, is there any moment that you were like, maybe I just like do a 9 to 5 and just like don't, maybe I don't do this. Maybe it's not for me.
Out of the ashes comes phoenix. That's one of the quote that I love the most. It's so about 99% of successful people, they're being through some shit, bro.
Yeah.
Either physically, mentally. Like, you have to have a pain point in your heart that keep you pushing. And that you have the opportunity to look back every time, see, hey, I used to live in this condition. My parents used to live in this condition. And now I'm here. Because of what? Because my hard work, it paid off. So that's one of the motivations. And they I slept 3 hours last night. What's your question again, Ben? Forgot.
When did you think that maybe it's not for you? Maybe this, like that grind.
Okay. Yeah. All right, we're back on
Oh,
top.
he's waking up. He's waking up now.
Somebody give me the Red Bull right now. Oh, come on. All right. Bro, the most excruciating point of running a clothing brand is the first half a year, first 6 months.
Okay.
Like, you have to do imagine, like, if you go to Nike right now, they got different departments. They got advertising department, they got a financial department, they got the modeling photo shoot department,
Yeah.
they got the even the marketing, graphic designing, video editing.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like all the same shit can be applied for every business nowadays. Let's say for barber as well, you need to put your work out there, right? To let people know, hey, this is my work. And they for that, you need to do graphic designing, video editing as well, and just like guerrilla marketing, every kind of marketing you would need. Are you good, bro?
Chilling, brother. You know what I'm saying?
It's my accent a bit hard to understand, bro. So good, bro.
Yeah, we're here. We understand you perfectly.
All right, and they so one of the things that stopped me for a couple of days actually is learning how to do graphic photoshopping, Adobe Premiere Pro, After Effects, and at the same time organizing photo shoots and DMing models, friends, hey, do you want to be a model and shit. And so all these kind of factors at first it's very hard, but after you kind of grasp how you can function or operate these softwares, after time it's getting better.
So tell me from, in the very early stages, right? Because the whole point of this first segment is I want people to understand that it's not going to be smooth sailing.
It's definitely not, bro.
Right. We talked about it with the other gentleman that came 2 weeks ago. We were talking about, like, nothing ever goes according to plan with anything like this. You know what I mean? Like, you have maybe you're trying to build something and it's not falling into place.
Always plan 3 steps ahead, bro.
3 steps ahead,
Yeah.
right? So just as an example, what did some of those, call them L's?
Yeah.
You took a couple of L's before you get a W, right?
Yeah.
What did some of those look? Do you have any examples of something like that happened to you before you really popped off?
My first drop, my second drop.
Really?
Big elbow, losing lots of monies.
No way.
And yeah, bro. Just I feel like the biggest L is the first time. It's hard to find a manufacturer from China.
Yeah.
Was they trying to scam me money? And yeah, bro, you're not sure about the quality as well. And it's because it's overseas, right? Or is it gonna send you some pictures, videos? You cannot guarantee the stitching, the quality, what kind of materials are gonna be. Is it gonna be on point, or even the colors, right? Because the colors might be a little bit off. So just so much uncertainties.
Yeah.
And that kind of what's it called again? Yeah, that's the reason why I took 2 elsewhere.
And yeah, I think you're not talking about like, oh, I'm buying a shirt from Shein or whatever. Like,
nah, bro.
you're dealing with quantity of thousands.
Bro. Yeah,
quantity of thousands. You're dropping hundreds or thousands of dollars into purchasing this stuff, and if it doesn't sell, then you're out. You know what I mean? So
100%.
that's something that you have to think about. No matter what the avenue that you want to go down is, if you have something that you're focusing on, expect that there's going to be some sacrifices. Expect that you're gonna take a couple L's, because no matter what, like, it will happen. You're not gonna be flawless. I don't think it ever happens where somebody's flawless in that.
Just to be safe, always plan for the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
So you can have a better plan, prepare for it, and like everything, bro. And like, if you want to do investment, if you want to do a business, worst case scenario, just imagine it. How can you deal with that thing happen? And that's the safest option. Yeah.
So was there ever a point for you, given whatever happened initially, that you were like, screw it, I'm done. I just want to quit. I want to give up at that point. And I'll tell you, from my perspective as a barber, there were times where I started cutting hair. I started cutting in 2017.
What made you want to start, bro?
The-
How does that happen?
Honestly, man, haircuts were expensive, and they still are expensive. But like,
and they're recession proof. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
you can literally go to any country. Let's say you go Brazil, you can
Bro, it's
still
not
work.
cheap.
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, exactly. Well,
Yeah.
that's one thing, is that it's you're always gonna get a job somewhere.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the one thing for me was like, for my story, I started because I wanted to just look fresh, and I didn't have the money to look fresh and go somewhere every other week for a haircut.
Sweet Ray Maris.
Yeah, I got one here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one
got it
here.
as well, bro.
Yeah, man. And so
yeah.
that's like, that was why I started, and then I just built up a passion. Maybe talking about passion,
Yeah.
right? And I think it's so. I told somebody else this a while ago. I forget, but my fiance. I'm engaged. My fiance.
Congrats, bro.
Thank you, man. I
I
appreciate
don't know that.
it.
Oh, I know, bro.
Now you know. My fiance and I, we talk about it all the time, and like when we'll go out to like Walmart, let's say,
Yeah.
right? And it's so funny because all the time that I would go to Walmart, the first place I would go is the hair product aisle,
Ouch.
because like I'm looking for stuff to use on clients, let's say, right? I'm looking for maybe a new product, a new styling product. If Kareem needs a curl cream or whatever the case,
Yeah.
maybe that's what I got to go and pick one up,
I agree.
right? And it was so funny because this was the first time where like I walked into Walmart with my fiance,
Yeah. No, wow.
and we both naturally were like, oh, the first place that we
Yeah.
go is the hair aisle. You know what I mean? And I built that passion from a young age of
Yeah.
learning about hair health,
Okay.
right? Learning about making sure that you're taking care of it. 1 in 3 men or 1 in 4. As soon as a statistic like that, where a good amount of men suffer from male pattern baldness, right? Between you and your group of friends, at least 2 or 3 of them are going bald,
Yeah.
right?
So, bunch of first class ticket to Turkey.
Straight.
We're gonna go there, bro. We're gonna go.
Look into SMP if you want to just, yeah, man, like it's bad. So that was one thing. I wanted to make sure that hair was healthy. I wanted to make sure that I took care of it. I wanted to make sure that I understood it.
Yeah.
My dad is bald, right? So I'm like, yo, there's a 50-50. It's a coin toss right now. I might lose my hair. So I want to make sure that I'm doing whatever I can to make sure that I keep it. So I learned a lot about hair. Then I learned a lot about cutting hair. I used to fall asleep. You were talking about ASMR earlier. I used to fall asleep to hair cutting videos.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, man.
Focus up.
I used to fall asleep to 360 Jeezy videos or whatever, like, and I wake up and I was like, oh man, like that's, it's like osmosis. You go sleep with your book underneath the pillow, you think it's gonna go into your brain. It doesn't, but like you pick it up. One thing actually, we talk a lot about like mental, like psychology stuff here, and there's something where like you basically, the knowledge that you take in right before you go to sleep, you end up processing that and maintaining that, committing it to memory when you're sleeping. So if you read a book about, let's say it's an entrepreneurial book, whatever maybe Atomic Habits, right? We'll use that. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. You open up Atomic Habits, you read 3 or 4 pages of Atomic Habits before you go to bed. Your brain is going to process that information while you sleep, and you're going to commit it to memory better. So it's a natural thing that we do. I don't know if that's 100% confirmed.
Yeah.
I've heard of that, but
something around those lines. I think in the first episode, I think Ali really did talk about how your brain goes into overload at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it's better to read books in the early morning.
When
you're fresh. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that really like encapsulates everything that you're learning, and you apply that to your daily life.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's better to read books in the mornings and late at night?
So he was saying that he prefers to read them
Yeah.
in the morning.
Okay.
Because he finds that at the end of the day, it's very like his brain is overload.
Yeah.
Right? But at the same time, you take information and apparently you process information better right before bed, apparently or supposedly. I think that's the case. But I mentioned this last time. I'm not an academic. I don't know.
Dude.
I gotta go and hit the GPT a little bit and figure.
For those of people that want to take, what's the SAT equivalent in Canada? Whatever, bro. The entrance exam, examinations. Just read books, read lots of algebras before you sleep, and that's how you get.
You'll be good, man. You'll commit it to memory.
So I wanted to chime in a little bit. So Kevin, I know you love one of these books. It's called 52 Laws of Power. Do you want to chime in a little bit about that?
You're going to -4.
Yeah.
Yeah, that book's very nice.
48 laws of power.
Sorry, my apologies.
Say minus
Please.
4.
-4, 48 laws of power. My bad.
I actually just read it last night, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, the first chapter, the first one's never outshine master.
Hmm.
That can be put in. Let's say if you go to school, the professor, that can be a quote unquote master. Not in that way, but there's a power dynamic that needs to be explored.
The teacher.
The teacher,
The
yeah.
teacher.
Or it can be an
the
employer
mentor.
as well, or you can go to part-time work and you're a manager, whatever. And it's always about, because it basically talked about how everybody have some insecurities, and you don't want to expose the insecurity of the manager with the higher up positions by outshining them. That actually puts you a target in your head, and they might screw you over with some excuses. So always play safe. And yeah, bro, that book is very worth to read it. I already read it 2 times, but I'm trying to read it the 3rd time.
Just committed to memory. You read it right before bed.
Okay,
Yeah.
guys, memorize the whole thing.
Yeah, but I used to try the one of the movie recaps or whatever on YouTube before you go to sleep.
Yeah.
That shit's not working, so I switched to reading books, bro. And that's actually very helpful.
I'm noticing that amongst a lot of people that are very successful is that they read a lot. And I was talking to my last guest about reading a lot because I struggle to read. But people that focus on reading and taking that information via reading it, they seem to make that a lot more actionable, right? There's an intention behind it that's important as well.
You.
Right. So I think reading is a he said it was a life hack, or it's just a way of changing the way that you take in information.
100%.
It's better for you.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Focus on doom scrolling. It's not good for you. Read some books. Touch some grass.
Type shit. You read it for me.
So, moving on to those L's that you were taking.
Yeah.
And there's also, one of the things that we have a lot as people is we're focused a lot about image. And not necessarily, I want to make sure that people think of me in a certain way or whatever, but like the people that are close to you, you want to make sure you're doing right by them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So was there ever any point in which people around you misunderstood you or what you were trying to build with OC or what you were trying to build prior to OC? Like, was there ever a point where people kind of doubted you in that? People, whether it's your family or your friends or whatever the case, what was that point?
After you answer this question, it's my first time thinking about these questions. Because my mind just be so occupied with the OC works. But I don't care about other people's opinion, bro.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to fuck with me, fuck with me. Don't want to fuck with me, get the fuck out, bro. And the door's that way. But I would say 99% of the people I met, very supportive, bro. Yo, Kev, let me help you this. Let me help you with that. But it's so about good karma. You helping other people, other people help you as well. But meanwhile, protect your boundaries. Don't let other people take advantage on you. And that's one thing I learned from OC. I'm just so tapped into like next photo shoots. How can I stand out for marketing as well? I never cared about other people's opinion and just keep it pushing, bro, because that's a good way. If you think about, what you say about me or what she's saying about me, like it's not healthy, for a brain. It's like everybody have a brain capacity and we need to allocate the informations very wisely at the end of the day, bro.
I think that's super important because sometimes you have a lot of people talking about you, whether it be negative, positive things, and it's really important to kind of like block out the noise and really look at what your end goal is going to be, whether it be branding yourself or with your clothing brand, or even like with Jabir's case being a barber. You know what I mean? Some people might not like the haircut. Some people might like the haircut. It's everyone has their own.
You cannot
preference.
please everybody.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. You do it. If you do what you do to the best of your ability, nobody's gonna be.
Yeah.
What can people say? They can't say anything.
Protect your own energy.
There it is. So, Kevin, when did you feel like things started to click with you, with OC or with your planning? When did you feel like you were finally doing what you were meant to do creatively? Did you have that feeling? Are you still working towards that feeling?
Bro, absolutely, bro. I feel like if there's a progress bar of OC from 0 to 100%, probably right now I'm sitting around 5 to 7%. There's so much I want to do, like 95% more. And You know, when you're so tapped into one of the hobbies, you want to devote your whole purpose to it. You kind of, I don't know, it's kind of insane to talk about it, but you know how Albert Einstein kind of lost his mind at the end of the day doing science. It's so about an opportunity to let you create a flow, work in a quiet, I don't know, environment, in a serenity. Like you won't get interfered by what's going on with drama or what's going on in other shits people's life. Um yeah. So I really appreciate OC. The point where I noticed I'm definitely gonna do this is I have the chance to have a serenity, a peace of quiet of mind. I'm working on it, and without looking at it as a time, worrying about other shit. And that's one of the biggest factor, bro. You're submerging yourself deep into that mental state, and it's actually very enjoyable.
I see. So it's almost like a point of time. You found something that gave you that serenity, that gave you that freedom almost.
Yeah.
Right. It gave you that freedom of,
Bro, you don't have to worry about paying rent, other shit as well. Car insurance, car loans. Just like everything will be wiped off for them,
yeah.
besides your hobbies. You just want to focus on that, tapped into that one direction. I don't know if you get it now.
No, I get it. 100%. I get it. I get it. You focus on one thing and you hyperfixate on it.
100%.
And you build out from there. But you got to make sure that you're obsessed about that thing. It's actually I don't know if you know, man, like Kobe talked about it a lot. You know, you got to find that one thing that you're obsessed about. You got to find the thing and you want to just dial in. Just stay locked on that one thing. Just focus on just that. It wasn't just about basketball. People always thought that Mamba mentality or whatever was about everything. Everything. If you dial in on the thing that you want to do, you are going to find a way to grow off of that. But you have to make sure that you're taking the time, you follow a schedule, you're consistent, and you have intention behind everything that you do. Right? If you just go, if you're just pen to paper, drawing up a t-shirt, whatever, fuck it. Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? There's no intention behind that. But you have an intention behind everything that you do, you're going to grow from that. There needs to be an intention. Next time on the Flow State Podcast. One of the biggest things he was telling me was your perfectionism is a flaw. Where is that middle line?
There is no middle ground, bro. If you keep looking for a middle ground, that's another definition behind your perfection.